I mean, me and you, we would go to federal pound me in the ass prison for a percentile of what he did. And this motherfucker just gets to go back into good standing and continue. I mean, this is the level.
Yeah, he gets to practice law again. His DC bar license was reinstated.
The level of corruption that we're experiencing right now is unholy.
What was the story in New York? Tell them the story in New York of Eric Adams, the new mayor, and who he installed in different key positions.
Oh, I think we talked
about
it. And
nepotism to me has never been a good word, because even though it is the accurate word, it just sounds so soft in comparison to what the depth of corruption that we're dealing with. So tell them the story about that.
So Eric Adams, the new mayor of New York, who sucks, ran on a promise about bringing up all this different change and doing things differently. The first two executive orders he signed is and by the way, this is disgusting. These executive orders are being signed left and right now, as if it's
just imperial diktat.
Yeah, absolutely. The first two he signed was continuing the state of emergency and continuing the mandates. And the New Yorkers are like, what the fuck? Well, that's what you get. Keep voting in these leftist goons and Democrats, and you're going to keep getting the same shit. He just appointed his brother as I want to say the police commissioner, I think. I'm really tired right now. I'm sorry, man. You can tell. It's been a long day, man. But he appoints his own brother, as like police chief commissioner. And
that's insane. His own real brother.
Yes, his brother. And he's like, well, he's qualified for that. But get the fuck out of here, bro. There's probably 1,000 people that can get that job. And just for balances of checks and and also just so it's not a good look, and it's not a good precedent to set. There's been other people that have appointed their wives or their family members into positions, but they're usually non-paid positions. This guy's making like $240K per year now, and he's already retired.
And anybody who's made $240,000 knows it's not easy to make that money if you're doing it grassroots level, doing it on your own type of thing. No way, man. Without getting a cushy position like that.
Yeah, so he also appointed, I forget the guy's name. He's another dude that was a co-conspirator. He had to resign disgracefully because he was indicted as a co-conspirator in a fraud case where he was like taking bribe money. And he just brought him back and made him his deputy mayor.
Wow.
And everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Deputy mayor, so basically second in command.
Second in command.
And this guy had, what was the fraud case specifically? Do you remember?
He was labeled as a co-conspirator for doing favors for bribes in his position, and I had to find.
They soften that up and call it pay for play.
Well, the excuse that the new mayor is using is that, well, this guy is so qualified and he's just sitting there on the bench. I shouldn't just let him sit on the bench if he's qualified just because he made a few bad decisions. And he wasn't really charged for anything that was criminal. It's like, who cares, man? He's a co-conspirator in a fucking bribery case.
And people used to say liberalism is a mental illness, mental disease, or whatever, and it's
absolutely.
And at the time, I was just like, well, that's kind of extreme. But when you think about it, the people who vote these people in, I mean, how retarded can you be? I mean, these people, this is the thing that this is the thing they're crying about, justice, equity and all of this. And then you're voting in people who are the most corrupt individuals and defending them against individuals like you and I on an obscure podcast.
Because they're very tribal, very tribal. His brother Bernard Adams brings him in. He will serve as a deputy police commissioner, and then the other guy, just so people can look it up and know the name, right here. Adams' deputy mayor had phone tapped. He had his phone, the guy he's bringing on board, right? He had his phone tapped, was named in a bribery scheme. Okay? Last name Banks.
And somebody tell me something. In New York, crime has exploded. In Chicago, crime has exploded, right? And you got
Portland, Seattle.
Yeah, and you got two black mayors in Chicago and New York, right? I believe the AGs are black. I believe that the police chiefs are now black. Who is the police chief? This you're talking about is police chief now, right? In New York. He installed somebody as...
No, that's Mayor Eric Adams He's black. He installed his brother as commissioner.
Hmm.